Christine or Wiener.
What, Pookie?
That's our name. They can't let them know what our name is.
Well, now they know.
Okay, boo-boo. You know what we forgot to do in our last episode?
We forgot to mention somebody?
Well, not just somebody, but we forgot a lot of things, and that's not good. Yes, we're back. This is a second episode to talk about that low-carb conference that we were a part of this past weekend. It was the 2009 Eastern Regional Obesity Conference put on by the American Society of Bariatric Physicians.
That's a mouthful.
And the Nutrition and Metabolism Society. And we'll have the URLs right there for you to
So it's not there.
check out. It's not there, it's not there, it's down there.
Okay.
Right there, yeah, there. And so anyway, yeah, we forgot somebody who I'll tell you about in just a second. But first, I wanted to bring up one other point that was in the talk that
You actually learned something?
I learned a couple of things. And you'll be very surprised by this. I was very surprised when I saw this research. I believe it was Dr. Lehman who was showing us about the protein. And when you take straight up glucose,
Yep, that was
your blood sugar goes to a certain level. But when you combine the glucose with a food that would be typically low carb, the glucose impact was like, shoom. I mean, it just skyrocketed. So basically what happened was they were wanting to see what would happen to people's blood sugars if they combined glucose with a protein source. And of all the protein sources that spiked the blood sugar the most, it was glucose with cottage cheese. Now you would think cottage cheese, that's high in protein, high in fat. It should not cause a huge spike in the blood sugar. But when you combine it with glucose, it produced an astronomical amount of a spike in the blood sugar. I was just shocked by that.
That's amazing.
Because a lot of people say, well, if you eat a high protein, high fat type of food with sugar, then it'll negate the effects. Well, not according to Dr. Lehman's research. So the point is, especially if you're type 2 diabetic, cut out the sugar. Just don't let it out in there. And when I say sugar, I mean anything that is sugar or turns to sugar in the body. Carbohydrate, basically. And if you cut it out, then that cottage cheese or any other protein source is not harmful. So that was
that's some good stuff.
Lesson that I just totally forgot to tell you.
Oh, we learned so much.
There was so much. You got it oozing out the ear here. So now the person that Christine was alluding to that we forgot to tell you about was Gary Taubes.
Hello,
Mr. Good Calories, Bad Calories. Sorry, Gary, didn't mean to forget about you, but he did give 2 talks during the weekend on Saturday, April 18th. His first talk he gave was on the, the first one that he gave was the one that he's given that you've seen all over the internet. I mean, what it was called, Adiposity 101 was what he actually titled it. And that one, do a search online and you'll find that video. Where he basically goes through the history of how we got to where we are today with the low-fat dogma and why it's wrong and why dietary carbohydrates are the reason why we are fat and sick as a society.
Thank you, Ansel Keys.
Yes, well...
Sorry.
Anyway. The second talk that he gave, though, was brand new. It was on diabetes and the impact of low-carbohydrate diets on diabetes. And let's see, what was the name of that particular talk? I don't have it right in front of me. It doesn't look like Yep, there it is. The Mythology of Dietary Lipids, and it really got into the whole notion of how you need carbohydrates to control type 2 diabetes, which is bogus at the yin-yang. I found out later Gary wasn't feeling very well. He actually was coming down with a cold when he was giving that talk, and he felt rushed. It was only 45 minutes he was allowed to talk. So when he is able to redo that talk and give it in full, I believe it's actually about an hour and 20-minute talk. When he's able to do that, he has already promised me that he's going to provide that video footage to me, and I will upload it here on YouTube for him. So
that's so sweet of Gary.
You will find out about it soon enough. Now, before we run out of time today, I wanted to tell you about some of the people that we met while we were there that weren't necessarily speakers. Of course, at all these Nutrition and Metabolism Society conferences, we have Dr. Richard Feinman. I told you about Dr. Eric Westman was there. Jackie Eberstein, who worked with Dr. Atkins for 3 decades, great friend of this show and of the work that I do. And plus, she and Dr. Westman are both going on our cruise next year. Ooh.
Somebody else, can I
Well,
give a hint?
Sure. Who else did we see?
Fred Hahn.
Fred Hahn from the Slow Burn Fitness Revolution, and he's
going on the cruise too.
going on the cruise!
Yes!
And he's going to do a demonstration of the Slow Burn Fitness, so that will be cool. Someone else that we saw there was Laura Dolson from the About.com low-carb diet site. I've actually got 2 back-to-back quickie little recaps of the conference with them that we're going to share with you in just a moment. In fact, let's do that right now.
A lot out of this weekend. I always find it exciting to get together with people who are all on the latest cutting edge of science in the area of diet and nutrition. It reinforced a lot of what the benefits to us in carbohydrate restriction, but I think my big thing was all the information about protein this morning, and I'm going to not only change some of my own eating about protein, but I'm going to be able to advise my readers with more of a scientific perspective.
So, this has been, obviously, my first time here, an amazing weekend, and the amazing thing, I think, the most amazing thing about it is that to have such a large group of experts agreeing, basically, upon the benefits of low-carbohydrate eating, and not only for diabetes, but for general health and well-being and obesity. Something like this is, I knew it was going to be exciting and interesting, but not as much as I thought. So this has been quite an exciting weekend for me, and this is the kind of thing that needs to be on television.
Those guys were awesome.
Yeah, they enjoyed the conference so much.
Oh, it was outstanding. And the thing I really liked was we all kind of got together and sat around the table for a meal every night. And of course, we're a bunch of nerds. We talked about low-carb science.
Well, it was so funny because I was
table.
sitting there eating, and all of a sudden Dr. Eric Westman was down there talking about poop.
Yeah.
And I was looking over.
And we're going,
yeah, and he's like, oh, sorry, because they talk about that stuff all the
well,
time.
they're all medical doctors and researchers, and they, I mean, the urine specimen and the fecal matter, and it's like, but it was such a neat experience, and I feel honored to be able to be kind of a fly on the wall of that whole dichotomy of the people that were there. Just
oh yeah, it was awesome.
It's such an honor because I'm just a layperson. You're just a layperson. We don't have any medical degrees or nutrition degrees, so it's neat to be a part of these conferences. And I want to give special thanks out to the Nutrition and Metabolism Society and the American Society of Bariatric Physicians for allowing us to be there. We really appreciate it. We're able to come back and to share with my readers and our YouTube video watchers everything that happened, and it was a really neat thing.
Our YouTube peeps.
Our peeps, as I like to call you. So. Well, that's all the time we have for episode 63 of Living La Vida Low Carb on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and check us out again soon. We're making lots of videos. See ya!
Bye.